Merry Christmas!
I am Scott, and I am a gay dad.
And I'm Max, his straight son.
We've been doing this vloggy thing for about 3 months now, and we've sprinkled bits and pieces of our complicated family history all throughout the videos.
So we thought it'd be time to tell you how our best friend father-son relationship came to be. Now, just to warn you, this might be info overload and seem like a crazy story, but it's our story. And if you need to replay the video a few times, we get it.
It all started with my dad's death. I'll do a video on that later. For now, I just want to concentrate on the Max and me part of the story. He died when I was 17 years old, and it's something that I still have a hard time accepting all these years later because I never told him that I'm gay. A year later, I felt it was time to come out to my mom. I come from a small town where people have kids, and those kids grow up and they get married and they have kids, and the whole cycle starts over again. I knew my mom wasn't going to like it. I just never expected her to react the way that she did. She kicked me out on the street. I had nowhere to go. I was staying at a friend's, sleeping on their couch, and I saw an ad for a clinic where guys could donate their sperm for money, for research. I needed the money, and it was a skill I thought that I was good at, so I did it a few times. Stop. Turns out that on the same day as my last donation, there was a mix-up at the clinic, and they accidentally used my sample to fertilize someone's egg. Very Ally McBeal.
This is where I come in. My mom was single and she wanted kids. She started saving up money, and when she saved up enough money, she went to the same clinic where his stuff was accidentally given to my mom. 9 months later, there it was. She brought me up all by herself. She was all that I ever knew. And when I was 9, she found out she had stage 4 breast cancer. My mom put her will together, and the only piece of information she left out was where I was going to stay. She was smart enough not to Harry Potter me into some bad living situation. My grandparents are a little on the older side, and so she didn't want me to live with them. She didn't want me to lose my parents and grandparents. She and my uncle never spoke after her pregnancy. He found the light, or so you could say, and he's an extremely religious man. He didn't believe that bringing a child into the world the way she did was good in God's eyes or whatever. So she put the whole God-parent thing on hold. A lot of kids go looking for their donor parents when they get older, and she wanted to help me find mine because she knew her parents weren't going to help me. So we went back to the clinic, and thanks to their back records, we found out that it was my dad that donated. Total lawsuit territory, I know, but she had a lot more things to worry about.
When she found me, I was living with my best friend Amy, whom you've met. She just showed up at my doorstep. I thought she was homeless and that she was looking for food, but she told me her story, and I told her that I was gay and that she was crazy, but she wasn't expecting me to take Max in or anything. She just wanted him to meet his donor dad. So I shook his hand, and then they left. I was stunned by the whole thing. Over the next few weeks, I kept thinking about this kid, who he was, how he was going to live without his mom. At this point, I hadn't spoken to my mom for about 10 years now, and with all the hoopla about how gays can't get married and how they can't have kids, I was scared. But somehow I knew this was my chance to be a dad. I flew to see Max, and his mom had taken a turn for the worse.
I was sitting at the hospital with my grandparents and my aunt and uncle, and they were arguing with my mom's lawyer about who was going to take me, because my mom hadn't officially filled out her will yet.
And I showed up to the hospital, and they were all fighting, and Max and I shared this look. And that's when I knew. I went in to his mom's hospital room, and I leaned over her bed, and I said, "I'll take him." And she pointed to her purse, and I grabbed it for her, and she pulled out the will, and with the doctor's pen in front of everyone, she put my name on the dotted line. And then she signed it. And then she died a few days later.
Nobody was happy with it. Not even me. Why would she send me to live with some gay guy I didn't even know?
Mother's instinct, I guess.
Turns out it was one of the best decisions she ever made.
So I brought Max home, and Amy moved out so I could be a dad.
Over the next few months, I was a pill. I didn't like being with him. I didn't like the situation. I was missing my mom like crazy. And it's a new city. No friends.
He was definitely the quiet and angry type. I didn't know what to do or how to be a dad. Here was this kid who was already raised by someone that I didn't even know. So I buddied up to him. I treated him like an equal. We stayed in a lot because feeding two mouths was really difficult for this single 29-year-old suddenly new dad. Netflix was a lifesaver. And so were the apartment complex meetings because they got us out of the apartment and they provided for some free Tuesday night entertainment.
And then came Christmas Day. I missed my mom. And I just wanted to be alone. So I stayed in my room.
I remember going into his room and he was all curled up in a ball under the covers facing away from me. I just sat on the edge of his bed and started talking.
More like babbling.
Words eventually formed sentences, and I told him that my dad had died and that I sort of knew what he was going through because I'd gone through the same thing and I hadn't fully processed that yet. And then, much to my surprise, he turned around and hugged me. That was our first bonding moment.
So that's our story.
I hope it wasn't too depressing for you to watch on Christmas.
We just wanted to share something true with you, our subscribers, who we think of as family.
Yeah. And you know what? Thank you for watching. It's been really fun bonding with my son in a way that I never thought was possible.
Do you think we can rack this up as an It Gets Better video?
I don't know. Maybe.
All right. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone.